welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Maxine and I like to teach people how to sew and draw patterns. So I am so excited for today's video. I'm going to show you how to make a waistcoat top. I just love how versatile this top is. You can dress it a bit more casual or you can dress it a bit more formal. So I've chosen a linen, so it's a bit more of a, I would say more of a casual type of top. But you can use different fabrics if you want more of a formal look to it. I would then recommend go for a satin or something like that. That's then something that you can wear on a night out or something. And then you can match it with so many other different garments. You can match it with your jeans, you can match it with a pretty skirt. There's so many different things that you can match this top with. So this is a beginner friendly project. So if you're just starting out, don't be scared, it's quite easy. I would then just skip the patch pocket part. So you will need the bodice block for this. I've got another video where I explain everything in detail on how to make your own bodice block. So do your own bodice block first and then come back and then draft the pattern. So if you recognize my dress, this is the one that I made for Valentine's Day. I'll link that video down below as well. It's just a simple blouse dress. So if you want to make one for yourself as well, go ahead and try that. Please let me know how your garments came out and also let me know what else you want to see. If you liked today's video, please remember to like and subscribe, and if you've got any question, please just leave a comment down below and I will get back to you. So we're going to take our front bodice block. We're going to start by moving the bust dart. So we want to move this dart to the princess seam line, which is here by the armhole. So mark your placement point of your dart on your block and on your pattern like this. That's where we're going to move the dart to. Then from this point, I'm going to trace along the block all the way around. Make sure to trace the darts as well. Here at the bottom, center front, going up around the neckline, only to this line here. So don't trace all of that off. So only up to this line here. Then I'm going to place my pencil here by the bust point and keep it in there. Now this part of the block, we need to line up over here on our traced off paper. So this point here of the block, I'm going to shift. Make sure your pencil is through that gap where you can move the block. Now I'm going to match this point to that point that we've got on our paper there, like that. And then I'm going to trace off the rest. So now from the shoulder back to this point. So only up to this point that we've got on our block, and make a little mark like that. Now we're going to go back, straighten the shoulder line, and then we connect our dot. So now this is our new dot, here to here, there to there, and then our waist dot. Okay. So now we're going to find the center of the dot. This is 4, so minus 2. Then I'm going to square down from that point 10 centimeters. Then I'm going to connect back to the waist line. Now we're going to go back here to the top. We're going to measure 2 centimeters in. And then here the front neckline, here the center front, we're going to measure 13 centimeters down, or you can go slightly lower. Then from this point, we're going to extend it 2 centimeters out, going down. This will be our button stand. So from here, I'm just going down 2 centimeters. Then I'm going to draw in the shape. So from this point, let's measure 2 centimeters down here by the side waist, 2 centimeters down, and then 0.5 out, and then just curve that, connecting there. Then we measure 2 centimeters in the center front down as well. So from here, then we're going to draw in the shape at the bottom. So I want a slight point here in the front. Make sure the measurement that you've got here to here matches up the same on this side. So mine is 6 centimeters, so I want 6 centimeters this side as well. These 2 points, we can measure 0.5 in there, 0.5 here as well. Then we connect back to the waist there. This will just give a better shape in the front so it doesn't stand out too much. Now we can draw the armhole shape. So we're going to measure 6 centimeters on the shoulder. And then our dart here, we can measure 2.5. Yeah, and same here, 2.5. Now we're going to connect here, this point to this point with a curve like this. And then underneath the arm, we're going to go 1 centimeter down and 1 centimeter in there. Connect that back to the waist, and then we connect this back to the underarm. Then these points here, we're going to measure 0.5 down and 0.5 up. There and there. Now we can draw the bust shape. So we don't want a point here in the bust, so we want to smooth out the bust. So from this point here, I'm going to draw a curve. Go over. And same here. Match it back to the dart and then curve it. Bring it back. So underneath the bust, so here's our bust point. So underneath the bust, we've taken in about 0.5 on each side of the line. So this will just give a better bust shape. So if you don't want too much of a bust shape, you don't have to do this. You can just go straight, so it's not as shaped in by the bust, but it looks nicer to have more of a tailored fit. So I'd recommend just go about 5 millimeters. You can always sew it in, do some alterations afterwards if you want to sew it in a bit more. And just connect that dart again. Okay, now we need to make sure that our side seam matches onto the front. So we've dropped the front by the waistline 2 centimeters, so we're going to do the same in the back. 2 centimeters down. Let's connect that again. And then we're going to take this point out 5 millimeters. Connect with a slight curve. Then we've dropped the underarm point and taken it in 1 centimeter, so we'll do the same here. Connect back to the waistline. So we've taken in 2 centimeters here by the neck point, and then from that point we've got 6 centimeters. That's the width of our shoulder. You can always go smaller if you want. Then we can connect this point back to here and our back neckline. Now we need to extend this, so we're just going to bring this dart straight down, straight down. Now this is our back panel, so we can just add seams all the way around and cut this out. Now that we've named our pattern is done, we can cut out our fabric. So this is where I really start to enjoy the sewing process. I've chosen this off-white linen fabric. I just thought like the style of the waistcoat is going to look so much nicer with a linen fabric, but you can go for different types of fabric. I've got about 1.2 meters here for the waistcoat. This is just enough, so I would recommend getting about 1.5 meters for your waistcoat. Then you've got enough for the outside and the inside, the lining of the waistcoat. So rather get a little bit more just for in case, so you've got extra to work with. You can use a different lining if you prefer, but I think with the linen it's going to look a lot nicer if you've got the same fabric on the inside as well. Now we can start by ironing all our fusing pieces to our fabric, and remember to not use any steam here. Finally, my favorite. Now we get to start sewing. So we're going to start with our back darts. Sew all 4 of them and then iron them down. Let's sew the center front and the side front together on 1 centimeter. Now we can cut the fabric for our pockets. So you can skip this step if you want to. It's not necessary for the pockets. So we're going to have a welt and a facing. So our welt is going to be 12 by 5 centimeters, and then our facing will be 15 centimeters by 5 centimeters. We can cut 2 fabric and 2 fuse for each. Now we're going to press the welt in half. Then from there, we're going to turn it inside out, right sides facing each other, and then sew the short edges on 1 centimeter. From there, we can just clip the corners. Turn the welt inside out and then press it flat. Now we can mark the pocket placement lines. So I've measured about 9 centimeters on that seam line from the hem up. So placing the welt on the bottom of this line, right up against the line, and then the facing, right side facing down onto the waistcoat, right up against the line, pin that down. Now we're going to draw a line 1 centimeter all the way along the pocket welt. And then for the facing, we want to measure 1 centimeter shorter, so shorter than the welt, and then it's about 5 millimeters, connect those two. So we're going to sew on these lines. We're going to draw a line in between our stitches, and then in the corners we're going to draw triangles connecting where the stitches end. Now we're going to cut through this. Make sure that you don't clip the welt and the facing. So you just want to cut the fabric, the waistcoat, and then cut as close as possible to your stitching, but don't cut through your stitching. Now we're going to take the welt and the facing and push it through that gap. If you find that the corners pucker pucker a bit, we need to go back and clip a little bit deeper. So you'll see here the one side puckered a little bit, so I'm gonna have to go back in and then clip a little bit deeper there, just closer to the stitching. So you can do this step by machine if you want to, but I just feel like doing this by hand just gives more of an expensive look to your garment. So just by hand, just sew through, just invisible stitches, tucking that welt down into the waistcoat. So now we're going to pin the lining to the outside. We're going to pin the center front and the neckline. Then we're going to stitch this on 1 centimeter. Now we're going to do a top stitch. So we're going to top stitch the lining and make sure that seam faces into the lining. So after we have sewn the armhole and clip, we're going to turn it inside out. So I'm just pulling the front through the shoulder into the back, and then it's going to be inside out. Now we're going to pin the side seams. So just on one side in the lining, we need to leave a gap, so about 10 centimeters. And then the other side, no gap. Now we can sew the hem right sides together on 1 centimeter. Now that the hem is sewn, we're going to pull the whole garment through that gap. So yeah, I'm just making my own fabric buttons. You get different types of these fabric buttons, but this is the one that I've got, and I just thought the fabric button will give it more of like a upmarket look, which I like. Now we can mark our buttonhole placement, and remember, ladies are always right. This is the most satisfying step, is sewing the buttons on. Let me know how your waistcoat came out. If you've got any questions, let me know, and remember to like and subscribe.